Okay, so we're going to talk about Lower Norfair. I'm probably going to break this into 3 segments, but I might be able to do 2. Basically, so we need to talk about Lower Norfair going to Ridley and coming from Ridley. We also need to cover a few aspects of the Ridley fight. Most everything that I could say about the Ridley fight is already covered in my other tutorials. But there are a couple of PRKD specific things that I can mull over. So, okay, so this first room, you want to run as you come off the elevator. You want to hold run, and you want to jump off the very end of this, so you get as much run speed as possible. And then you have 2 different options here. You can either morph before you hit the ceiling. You'll do a long bounce across like this. You want to land where this second set of platforms is moving up. So you want to bounce across this first gap right here instead of on this left side. And then you want to unmorph as you're landing up on this little lip. Do a short hop up onto this left platform here. And this is, I've really struggled to get consistent with this mock ball, but basically you just want to shoot when you land, and then again kind of run like as far as you can on this left platform, and then jump and hopefully you clear everything else there and you do the mock ball. If you don't get the mock ball, it's not the end of the world. It's not that big of a deal, to be honest. Also, you do want to have power bombs selected here because you're going to be using one in the next room. See, so I missed it there. That's okay. You can save a few frames if you morph after hitting the ceiling instead. It is tighter though than if you were to morph before hitting the ceiling. And either way, you do want it to be a bounce ball. Like that. So that's an 1154 if we morph before the ceiling. $11.52. Morph after the ceiling. Oops. $11.52. It does save a few frames, but that kind of comes down to the execution everywhere else too. 1150. I would be so down for that. So yeah, that's this first room. Moving on. You'll see a lot of people, and I used to do this too, up until a couple months ago. You'll see a lot of people lay the power bomb as soon as they enter this room. So, you know, like this. And then they go. If you do that, you actually have to wait for the power bomb to reach and break these blocks that you're on. So that actually takes longer. We'll go through the left door to illustrate. That's a 438. Whereas if you do it like right next to it, or like a tile before or something, you can save a few frames that way too. You want to shoot that pirate to kind of stop him from advancing, so he doesn't like run into you. Also, in certain situations he'll shoot at you, and if you shoot him, that will delay his shot. So say like you're doing this jump, right, to fall down through here faster, which that is optimal, by the way, to do a hop and then fall down through, because Samus's fall speed is already capped out when you do it that way, instead of resetting from 0 and falling. That makes sense. Anyway, normally when you jump up here, he would, you know, shoot at you. So if you shoot him, that prevents that from happening. You want to unmorph as you're passing this block and do a down back to get down through this gap here. And then you want to move left and set up for your short charge, the fast pillars. You can open this door to get a little bit more room here for fast pillars. Just be careful not to accidentally activate the transition, or else you're gonna lose time doing that. Some people, and this includes me, will like open the door and then moonwalk back into position. That's a little slower than if you just like run and turn, but it's obviously safer than running and turning. Behemoth actually does a spin jump turnaround to do it. And fun fact, if you do a 1 frame turnaround, it's not going to actually activate the door with a wall jump check. So that was too long there, but yeah, if you just tap right here, you're less likely to activate the door than if you like hold it, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Either way, I would advise opening the door and giving yourself this little bit of extra room. It seems small, but it does make a difference when you're going for fast pillars. Okay. So we'll make a new save state there. And you want to keep power bombs equipped this whole time. Okay. So fast pillars is a 3-tap. You don't have to stutter. I stutter because it makes it a lot easier. But you can just do a normal 3-tap if you want to. Like this. Basically, you're just trying to get a short charge here. Oops. Don't do that. And then you need to do a spin jump up, just slightly up. And then do a horizontal shine spark across through the pillars, okay? If you're low on health, you can purposely charge late and kind of fall off like that. And start your spark a little bit closer to the pillars. That will save a little bit of health compared to doing it from farther away. But doing it that way is faster, and looks like it's only like 6 HP difference or something, so not really that big of a deal. If you happen to miss it, the backup here, you want to lay a power bomb there, and then you jump forward and you lay another power bomb over here. It's just 2 power bombs that you'll be laying, and then you go through the rest of the room. You can also, yeah, that's right. You can also do like a blue suit morph thing here. If you do it correctly, I think you might be able to get away with 1 power bomb, but I think that may have required starting from the previous room. You've probably seen me do that blue suit keep. This. Oops. Basically, if you have blue suit and you do a soft morph into like a mock ball type thing, and then you hold angle and you unmorph, Samus is going to keep her blue here. You can jump and she'll still have her blue suit properties that way. As soon as you stand up or turn around, she'll lose it. But if you jump first, she'll keep it until you land again, which is pretty cool. Yeah, so if you miss it, you want to do power bombs. stay out of the acid as much as possible to conserve health. Okay. All right. Next up is worst room in the game. So, oh my gosh, I don't know why that keeps happening to me. Basically, there's a few things you can do here. I opt to do a wall jump check through this door. And then after the wall jump check, if you just hold right into the next room, that will put you on this platform. Okay? Like you still have to time your jump and ledge grab onto it. But there's no additional like maneuvering of Samus other than just holding right. Okay? This is a little bit more risky, but it's fastest as far as I can tell. Most people will just run in. They'll hold angle here so they stop immediately, and then they'll just do a straight jump up. Can you get lag reduction with it? So that's actually something that I'm not as well versed in, Cutie. I know that lag reduction is based on how high you place the power bomb, right? But I've never looked into the details of that, and part of the reason is because when I have, it messed up the lag in the room enough that I couldn't actually do the room the right way. I think Behemoth has a similar story there. But yeah, this is the most comfortable setup for me personally. So much lag. It's 111 lag frames there. Let's check this way. You said high power bomb gets the lag reduction depending on where the bottom guy is. That was also 111. Some people will jump through the door going straight. Like I think JRP does that, or he used to. I actually find this harder for some reason. Like it's not that bad, but I figure if you're gonna be jumping into the room, you may as well do the wall jump check. That's gonna save you frames on the previous room. I know Jack was looking into the lag reduction a while ago. Behemoth may have switched to it. Last time I was consciously checking what he did, he also did the run-in, but that was a long time ago. You'll also see some people do a down grab here. I never adopted that. But that's probably partially because I was bad at down grabs when I was first learning. That's also 111 lag frames. Something else worth noting, actually, lower Norfair in the vanilla ROM has way worse lag than in the practice ROM. So just be prepared for that in runs. You're gonna get a lot more lag than when you're doing it in the practice ROM, unless you get one of the practice ROMs that has more lag, or you just grab a vanilla ROM and throw save states on it. The next important thing to talk about in this room is this jump right here. So this platform is a 2-tile platform, and it's just long enough that if you run on it for too long, you can actually not get the high jump. There it is. When you go to do your morph. And if that happens, you're gonna jump really low. If I can do it again. Like so low that I don't think, there it is. Yeah, I don't think you're even high enough to place a power bomb, but either way, you're gonna get owned by that pirate. So don't try to run too far on this, because that will actually get you in trouble if you do. You just want to do kind of a short run, and then jump up and morph. Okay, and then there's this rock in the background. Right here, where that rock kind of peeks out on the right side. Right here. That's where I lay the power bomb. Okay, that's my visual cue. That was not it. Right there. Okay. You don't necessarily have to lay it right there, but that's kind of what I'm aiming for when I do it. And I know that it will hit both of these up here, both sets of tiles. If you lay it too low, what's going to happen is it's not going to break the higher set there, and you can't get through there unless you lay another power bomb. I mentioned the other day, if you're not following QD, you definitely should. He's really good at this game. He just got a low 42. It's like a 42 2x in PRKD. So definitely throw him a follow. He's a really good runner. He also has an amazing KPDR time. He has a 43 in KPDR. He's one of 3 people to 43, so yeah. Okay, so we lay our power bomb, right? And then we want to wait to unmorph until we're just about landing on this platform down here. You don't want to unmorph early, because what that will do is reset your fall speed and get you bonked. If you unmorph at the top, that's going to cause even more lag frames, and it will make maneuvering to do the wall jump difficult too. So basically, you just want to stay in morph until you're about ready to land, and then unmorph and do another jump similar to the one that you did to lay this first power bomb. Immediately swing back to the left side, and you need to wall jump off this wall in a specific spot. It's not like it's not like pixel perfect or anything. It's not super tight, but it does need to be in the right spot. Okay, so I'll show that spot. So there's these cracks in the wall, right? And then there's this crack right here. It has like kind of 2 lines rather than just one. You want to wall jump just below this right here. Also, if you can do a later wall jump where Samus is kind of away from the wall instead of right next to it, again, kind of like a Mega Man X iceless jump. That's kind of what you're looking for here, because that will get you around this block here. Like that. If you do it too high, you're gonna bonk. Or if you do it too close to the wall, even if you're below the line, you're gonna bonk. I think you might be able, yeah, so if you do it even lower on the wall, you can do it right next to the wall, but that's a tighter wall jump window. So the easiest way to do this is to be right below this line and away from the wall a little bit, and that will get you in the right position to do this wall jump. Okay. All right. Now for the top half of this room. See, I wall jumped right next to the wall there and I bonked. Also, you need to go fast here, because if you don't, like if you wait, you're either gonna get bonked by one of those pirates' lasers, or as you wall jump out, you might bonk that pirate right here, or on purpose. I don't know. I've definitely done it before. I've done it in RBO, and that's where it really hurts. But Yeah, so just make sure that you're going fast here. And that shouldn't happen. And then you want to wall jump up onto this bottom platform right here. Okay. Okay, so there's a few different ways. Ooh, wall jump strats. Sick. Wonder if that changes the lag. There's a few different strats to deal with the top half of this room. Zeni, stop it. All right? Stop. That's barely high enough. Okay. Behemoth does a wall jump here. Like that. There's nothing wrong with that per se, and I used to do it, and I still do it in RBO. But it's hard to make this faster in PRKD. And with all of the lag that's going to be going on in vanilla, I usually miss this, okay? What most people do instead is they'll just do a full jump up, and they'll maybe do like a down grab, okay, or they'll just do a ledge grab, and then they jump, they do another kind of a big jump, and they do a wall jump off this next one, I think. I don't think most people do this sort of thing. Maybe they do. It's been a long time, actually. I should probably just do the room from the beginning. But basically, you just want to get into position so that you're on the right tile here. Don't get owned by this guy's flame. And then as soon as you get in position here, you don't want to wait at all. You want to do a straight jump up, ball up, and then move right over the pirate. Now, you probably saw, it looks like I'm hitting that pirate's face. The way that hitbox is, optimally, it is going to look like you go through the pirate's head. If you wait too long, what's going to happen is you're going to bonk on the ceiling and bounce down into the pirate like that, and you don't want that. So basically, you need to start moving right a little bit before you think you would. You won't clip the pirate, and you'll ball over him like that, okay? Yeah, dude, I can't do that wall jump with PRKD lag. I don't know why. It's weird. I mean, I can. I've done it before, but... Okay. So once you get up here... My visual cue for where to stand when running through this door, a lot of people use these spikes. I didn't like the spikes. I don't know why. I just didn't. There's this piece of the background, the wall kind of curves and curves back down towards Samus, and then it goes down kind of through the right side of the spikes here. As long as Samus's toe is like on that line somewhere, I know that I'm good. It can even be a little bit before, I think, and we're still good. But it really is a miracle that you can do the ball over. But yeah, so I just ball over, I open the door, and I try to land roughly in this spot. I mean, if you want to use the spikes, we're like in between the two spikes right now. Samus's front toe is in between the two spikes. And then you want to hold dash and just run through the door, okay? Now, after you run through the door, that was a little bit far forward, but we probably still would have made it. After you run through the door, you just want to hold down, okay? You should land over this pirate. You should clear the pirate's head. If you're really far forward, it should still work. But there is a point where it won't work anymore, so maybe if you're like this far forward, even if you're holding down, you'll probably still bonk the pirate. Yeah. So make sure that you're a little bit further back. You don't want to be too far back, or what will happen is... you bonk that, and you go straight down. So you don't want that either, okay? Now, let's say that you're like a little bit too far forward, but not so far forward that, or sorry, far back, but not so far back that you're going to bonk the that stalactite or whatever they're called that hangs down. But you keep holding down and you end up down here. This isn't the end of the world, but it is a bad spot to be in. And you can avoid falling in that little gap by just releasing down after you've cleared the pirate. So we're holding down, we're over the pirate, and we release down. What happens when you release down is Samus's forward momentum stops. Okay? So if we release down early, then she suddenly stops falling so fast forward. She is still moving forward, but not as quickly. And that's enough of a change that it will prevent her from falling into that little hole. Okay? So just basically what I do is I hold down, and then once I know I'm over the pirate, regardless of my setup, I release down, and then we move on through the rest of the room. As far as the rest of this room goes, we want to jump over this little thing here and land on the longer part of this platform. Then we do a running jump and we skip the next one up so that we land directly in front of this next pirate, okay? When you land in front of this pirate, you want to shoot. What that will do is it prevents the pirate from shooting us. The pirate will not always shoot us if we're fast, okay? But it's not a risk that you want to take. I actually lost a run once in my more recent stint to not shooting that pirate and getting shot. So yeah, like Cutie says, shoot or be shot, basically. Okay. Again, you want to do kind of a running jump here off that little 2-tile platform. That will get you high enough that you'll make it up onto this platform. And then this is honestly one of my least favorite platforming sections in the entire game to try and optimize. You can do a few different things here. I think what I usually do is I do a shorter jump onto this second platform, and then I do a longer one up onto this one. But you could also do a longer one and then another long one. No, you don't want to do that. Basically, you want to get up onto this platform, and then you want to move up onto that next platform to the right side of that pirate up there. See, that was bad. Don't do that. You always want to shoot that pirate. Okay? Shoot the pirate. Don't fall, that's bad. Shoot the pirate, jump up. Okay. What I do here is I jump just basically right next to the pirate, and then I turn around and spin. I do a ledge grab, and then I jump back up immediately. As long as you aren't doing 1, a jump without any run speed, or 2, a really, really like far jump, like run and then jump like really far, this should always work to your advantage. Basically what we want is we want to get a wall jump off of this platform that is low enough when we start it that we're not going to bonk into that stalactite that's hanging down and hit the pirate on our way back down, but also high enough that we don't accidentally bonk the pirate on our way over, okay? And you can avoid that if you do like a little turnaround thing here, but that's a little bit slower and probably harder for a lot of people to do. Fun fact, Samus's hitbox out of a wall jump is bigger. So a hitbox out of this is bigger than a hitbox out of a wall jump that has then turned like that. So if you do a wall jump and then you turn around, the hitbox actually shrinks. I don't know. I don't know how common knowledge all of this is. Most of it, probably, yeah. You can also, I mean, you probably just saw, but you can also ball over this pirate, and that's a little safer. You're less likely to ever bonk if you do that. It is also a little bit slower because then you have to reset your fall speed here. And the reason for that is we need to open this door. And if we shoot from the ground here, the door is not going to open. Okay? Cutie doesn't like this wall jump. Behemoth opts to do this instead. I think he jumps over the pirate that way. And you can do that. It's a little slower, but if you feel like it's safer for you, it's not bad. Okay, so that's the other option. Yeah, that sounds about right. It probably would be faster than the ball. Really, this wall jump isn't bad. Just learn it and get good, cutie. Okay. All right, so we want to shoot the door as we're coming down. And then what we want to do is a 3-tap short charge. Through the door. You can stutter here, but if you do, you might not hit the door. Your shot might despawn. So it is better to just not stutter and do a 3-tap here. It's not incredibly tight anyway, but if you're not used to doing non-stutter short charges, that might be kind of awkward for you. Now, we also want to shoot as we're going through the door. And so what I do here is actually, as I'm jumping over the pirate, I switch to a piano grip. Because this is one of those situations where I need to press dash and shoot at the same time. And the other option would be to claw dash. And I mean, I don't know about you guys, but the idea of clawing short charges sounds awful to me. So I do a piano, 3-tap, angle down, shoot as you go through the door. Again, just for the same reasons that I've mentioned in previous segments. Shooting before the door, basically what it does is it buffers a charge shot so that we don't have to shoot after the door, and Samus will automatically shoot when we come out. And as long as you're angling down, going through the door as well, and she'll hit these blocks automatically. Oh, I missed a shot that time. You can hear the shot go off when you do it, so if you don't hear a shot go off, make sure that you're holding shoot coming out of the door. You get these blocks. Okay, now the reason we're doing a short charge here is for lag reduction and also drop collection in this next room. So as you're coming in here, you can either charge your shine spark as you're falling down into the hole, or you can charge it early and then run forward. Okay. Oops. You definitely don't want to do like a gap skip here, which I keep doing like on accident lately, but I can't do it freaking now. Come on, you stupid game. That's it. I quit. We're washed up. It's over. At least one of my PBs recently did this thing where I gap skipped across and I ended up having to come down through the right side, and it was bad. So anyway, charge your shine spark, and then what you want to do is go down through this is blind here, but maybe I can show it with X-ray. I think that'll work. Okay, so this space down here, it's just a straight block pull down until you get down here, and then it's this this breakable block here. You just shoot to break this block, okay? So it's really, like, it's not that hard to maneuver down here, but you're not going to have a very good time trying to shoot down and not do it down back here, because you're going to land on that thing down below, which is, one, slower, but also it makes it harder to get this shine spark off at the right time. Like, see how that key hunter was almost out of range there? So that didn't even hit him that time. Or if we do a down back, we can clear this platform down here and immediately do the shine spark, and we'll hit him every single time, okay? This is a horizontal shine spark that we're doing, which sends the echoes up and down, because the echoes come out perpendicular to Samus's direction. And again, what this does is killing both of these key hunters will greatly reduce the lag in this room, and also it leaves drops for us to collect. So not only is this a faster strat, but also it's better for us in terms of resources as well. So it's definitely worth learning how to do this short charge and do the shine spark here. If you happen to not get it, it's not the end of the world. You just need to be fast here. You don't necessarily have to wait for that bottom key hunter. You can, like, try and morph under him. I personally am very bad at that, but I think I've seen Cutie do it and act like it was no big deal. Yeah, like that. You generally can morph and roll under these guys without too much issue, as long as you're on a lower tile than them and you do it as they're moving upward, okay? See, that didn't work, obviously. I'm gonna stop trying to act like I can show this, because if I keep trying, then I'm just gonna keep bonking and looking like an idiot, so. Okay, so shine spark, kill both these key hunters, collect the drops, make sure that you have power bombs selected. As long as you're fast enough here, this key hunter will be in the perfect spot for you then to jump down as he's reaching the left wall and keep going. And then you want to lay a power bomb as you're falling down here, as you're passing this little ledge lip thing here that sticks up. Laying the power bomb there will break all of these blocks. If you lay it any higher than that, you're probably going to miss at least one of the blocks. And then you're just causing lag unnecessarily. So lay it there. And then you can either morph and just hold right into these blocks like this, or you can try and save a couple frames the same way that I kind of explained in one of the other videos, where we get Samus's rolling speed preemptively. By rolling left and then rolling right. It's probably not going to make that big of a difference, to be honest. If you had to use power bombs to get through the pillars before worst room in the game, chances are you're not going to have enough here to use power bombs in both spots, because you only have two. And you have to use one to open this next door, and then you have to use one to break the statues in the next room. So that would leave us with 0 if we used a power bomb to break these blocks as well. So if you end up in that situation, what you need to do is hold a charge, okay, and then drop down right here, and you morph. Don't hold down here, and it will drop the bombs in a way that you'll break 2 of those blocks, and then you only have to break a 3rd one, instead of having to break all of them like this. Okay. So I'll show that one more time. Hold a charge. You can start charging wherever as long as you're finished charging by the time you get to that that little lip. Yeah. Yeah, you definitely don't want to rely on PBs of shame in PRKD. Okay. The reason you don't want to hold down here when you're doing the bomb spread is because if you do that, it won't actually come out until you release down. And the bombs will come out in a different way there. If you just continually hold down here, the bombs actually like explode out of Samus like that. It's kind of fun, but that's not the goal here. So. Yeah, sure, Sassy. I can do that in a couple of rooms. Okay, once Samus disappears behind this block, I just do a 1/1000 count. That's definitely not most optimal, but it's pretty safe in terms of not laying the power bomb too early. Because the way that the screen scrolls, it's hard to tell exactly where you are to make sure that you're in a good spot to open the door. So, yeah. I mean, you can come up with your own visual cue. Probably what will be better is to come up with a visual cue for the left side of the screen. Like, as something moves out of view on the left side of the screen, that's when you place it. That's something that I'm starting to do for certain strats, and it's definitely good. So I would recommend coming up with a more efficient way to do that, but I haven't done it yet. Maybe we can do it right now together. Okay, so that was good. That was too early. So this is where I laid it that time. And that actually hit it, okay? So basically, as long as this empty square tile is moving through the left side of the screen, you're probably good there, okay? All right, cool. Came up with a new cool visual cue. Celebrate, everybody. Okay, so as you're falling through this room, you want Samus to bonk this left wall here. Okay? Bonk. 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 The reason for that is because this next room, we can set up the Deskigas to let us move through the room optimally. It is at least 99.9% successful if you do everything correctly. There may be some weird outlier anomaly in there somewhere, but I tested like 120 different setups using a TAS, and I didn't find a single failure. At this point, I have supers selected. The reason for that is so that when I need to switch to power bombs, which is going to come up pretty recently, I only have to press item select once instead of 3 times. That's the only reason for that. So I have super selected, we hold left through the door, we bonk the wall, we continue holding left. What's gonna happen is you're gonna hit this flame pillar, okay? You wanna lay a bomb after you land in this little square gap, but not necessarily like as early as possible, but early, okay? You don't wanna lay it like up next to the wall like this. You want there to be kind of a gap there, okay? You want to continue holding left. And when we reach this next block that we're going to bomb, as Samus touches the block, you want to lay another bomb. And then for me, what is most consistent is for me to hold left and roll out and unmorph kind of where the slope starts moving down on the corner, and then immediately run forward. I like how I got bonked that time. That was great. It's not about the bomb placement itself that manipulates the Deskigas. It's about, I think it's about where Samus is in relation. Okay, so place the bomb kind of away from the block, up against the block, unmorph on the corner, run forward. The Deskiga should almost always do a high jump here, so you can run under him and do a short hop, okay? If you do it wrong, or you just do it willy-nilly, then there's a good chance that you're gonna get bonked when you try to do that. And these Deskiga do 40 damage. Bonk. So if you have less than that, that's the end of your run right there, okay? What some people will do instead is they'll unmorph here and wait. And then they'll run forward and do like a higher jump. You can do that, and it is like quote unquote safer because you know exactly, you know, what the Deskiga is going to do because you wait to see, but it's a lot slower. And if you do this strat correctly, you're pretty much never going to need to worry about it. So I would just recommend practicing this bomb placement for this strat. You want to do a short hop mock ball there. The reason for the short hop is sometimes the second Deskiga will do a higher jump instead of a shorter jump. A higher jump will put him closer to the floor. So I guess technically it's a lower jump, but it's a bigger jump. That's what I should say. And if you do the short hop, you can avoid those bigger jumps too. So you don't want to do a big jump mock ball there. And then you want to lay your power bomb to the left of this flower in the floor right here. As long as it's on the left side of the flower, you'll break enough of this statue to get through, okay? If you lay it on the right side of the flower or to the right of the flower, you're not going to break enough of the blocks. So we're not able to get through here now. Okay. I don't know why I did that, but see, it's screwed up. Screwed up in the nip. So don't do that. Just hold up against the block. Hold left against the block. And then the next thing you want to do here is morph into the corner of the statue. Okay, so you do a mock ball, you get into this corner of the statue. And as the power bomb is breaking those blocks, you want to hold left and kind of follow them breaking, okay? What that does is it moves Samus down before her fall speed starts increasing, so that then we can hold right against this block right here, and we'll fall all the way down without bonking right here. Oh, so you're saying don't sit on the blocks as they break. That would make sense. Bonk. Okay. Yep. That makes sense. So roll off of the ledge. Roll off of the corner statue. All right. So as we weave down here, you can K-go through these spike platforms. And you can do that without hitting the spikes. But these spike platforms do, I think, like 50 damage. Yeah. Whereas these spikes only do 15 damage. So that's why we opt to hit the spikes first, because we take less damage getting through the platform that way. Now to K-go here, it's pretty simple. It is kind of specific timing, but basically you just want to morph as you're landing on the platform. And that's it. So hit the spikes, jump, aim down immediately, and then press down again as you're about to land on the platform. And you'll fall right through, okay? You can also like roll into the spikes and then unmorph and do it, which I think is maybe a little bit faster. Like that, but it's harder. I've also seen somebody do like this weird little like this short damage boost. like that. Okay. I would just run into the spikes and jump and do it that way. It's not that much slower and it's way easier. But fiddle around with it. Maybe you'll enjoy the ball version where you roll into the spikes and then unmorph and do it. And then for this, you can KO through the next one as well, but notice that we're out of iframes by then. So again, to avoid further damage, what we want to do is hit another set of spikes. And if you hit the right side of spikes and you hold right while you're doing that, that will boost Samus downward into basically a perfect position where she just doesn't quite land on the spike platform, but her fall speed completely resets at that point, so you can just morph through the second one. If you don't hold forward, or you hold forward for less time, excuse me, what's going to happen is she's going to be higher when you try to reset the fall speed, or when the fall speed gets reset, and so then you're in less of an optimal position to do the morph through. Basically, the lower Samus's fall speed is here, the easier it is for you to predict when you need to do this morph. If she has really high fall speed, I don't know if the frame window is bigger or smaller, but predicting when you need to do it is definitely harder. So, also boosting downward is probably just faster in general. See, so I'm hitting those spikes too early now. I'm hitting on like the top half. You want to hit on like the bottom half. Like that. Okay. And then select supers. Shoot the door. Oh yeah, that's right. Doing this fixes the door. So this door transition is really, really short. It's only a few frames longer than it should be. Whereas if we don't get this second KO and we try to run through the door, it's quite a bit longer. So the last one was a 47 and this one was a 69. If you don't get this second KO, actually you can fix the door transition by jumping through it. And that will solve that problem. Okay. Okay. Pirates. This strat looks really hard, and it's really not that hard. So, I will explain it as best I can, and hopefully I will do a good job, and you guys won't need to be too confused by it anymore. I know that the first time I saw it, I had no idea what the heck was going on. So, you can just hold left here the whole time, but if you release left and you land a little bit further right, if timing a down press for Shine Spark is something that you struggle with in tight spots, this will make it a little bit easier for you. But again, you don't have to. You can just hold left the whole time. Now we're avoiding damage from these pirates by shooting them as we run through them. This is not a tight window. I do piano this room. Sorry, I can shift a little bit. I do piano this room because it's one of those rooms where I need to hold dash and press shoot. You could also claw it if you have a control scheme like I do. But yeah. So we want to run through them and then charge a Shine Spark, okay? Now what's going to happen automatically when we do that, this left pirate is going to jump over into the same spot every single time. Okay? He always lands right there. Now, as soon as we move past this block in the ceiling, above this TV, he's going to change into a golden state which means that he's vulnerable, and he's gonna do a ninja kick at us. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take advantage of that. We're going to Shine Spark diagonally up into the block and then hold forward. And what happens is our Echo shoots out perpendicular to Samus and does 4,600 damage per frame or whatever it is on the pirate while he's in a vulnerable state, and he dies. And it's wonderful. If you try and do it too far back, what's going to happen is the Echo is going to hit him while he's still invulnerable, because we didn't move forward quickly enough to make him vulnerable, and so he doesn't die. So make sure that you're far forward enough. If you're too far forward, it can still hit him depending on when you activated your Shine Spark. See, so like these are still hitting him, but it's putting the drops in a less optimal position a lot of the time, or it's just being slower for us in general. So the best thing to do is to spark. Yep, the best thing to do is to spark into this block above the TV. And yeah, Clipper, it's a proximity thing. So again, basically he's just waiting for us to get close enough to him, and then he's going to do a jump kick at us. Now there are ways that might change. I don't know, like if we shoot him, does that change it? Yeah. So since we shot him there, he decided not to do the jump kick, and he decided that he wanted to throw his little arms at us instead, I guess. But if you do this the same way every time, they're going to act the same way every single time. So we get him, he drops stuff for us. Oh, I should turn re-randomize back on before I forget again. Okay. He drops stuff for us, right? And then what we want to do is a stutter 2-tap. Forward, forward, 1, 2. Forward, forward, 1, 2. That's bad. Stutter, 1, 2. Gosh dang it. There we go. Okay. Stutter 2-tap. And if you do it correctly, you can charge your Shine Spark on this 3 set of blocks right here. I think, you know what, Cutie? I think I've already solved it in my head, so we'll see. But again, it's just the same idea here, except it's this TV and this block instead. So if we move any closer than this right now, he's going to do the jump kick. Okay? So we just do another diagonal spark into this block above this TV. That'll hit him. Boom. All right. Now, let's say that we ended up getting in here with really low health. Shine Sparks will stop when you're in crit, okay? So if we try and do a diagonal spark here, like from the floor, for example, Samus isn't going to go anywhere. What that means is that we don't actually have to jump up and do the ceiling Q. We can just do a floor Q instead. Oops. So I'm guessing if we align ourselves under this block, facing right, not facing left, you dummy, and then hold right, yeah, we can do the same thing and get the pirate. If you do a crouch one, Samus will be a little bit higher, so that might help. Oops, that might help, Cutie. I've never died that way in a run. I'm not even kidding. So it's really funny that I've shot that pirate that way twice now and died. The one thing that is risky here is if you miscalculate where you need to do this, and he does go, like, you know, into the jump kick, he'll kill you. So that's bad. But yeah, this is neat because, whoa. We don't have to like wait to fall. So again, we'll just do another 2-tap there. Man, this is so weird. I've never done this before. Okay. When you're doing the TVs, if you don't want to jump up into the ceiling, you can actually do a diagonal spark from the ground instead. And that is a little bit faster. I've missed it before just because of not like that, okay? Just like not really paying attention or being careful enough. But the cues that I use if I'm doing it this way is I use the statues in the background, okay? So that was too far to the right. For this first one, you want to be basically like on the right side of the statue where that pillar underneath is meeting the flat part. Okay. You don't want to do it too fast, or what's going to happen potentially is you might spark into the pirate as he's flipping up, and you'll actually take damage if you do that. So just be careful with that. I'm gonna see if I can actually show that. No. And then on the right side, it's kind of the same thing. Oops. Except it's with this statue instead, and it's on it again, it's on the right side. Just further left, I guess. So you can save a little bit of time there. It does cost a little bit more energy, and if you miss, that really sucks. All right, so that's that strat. And then leaving this room, this is probably one of my favorite strats in Super Metroid, period. So I'm glad that we get to talk about it now, because I love it. Makes me so happy. Okay. So leaving this room, the strat that I do is faster from my testing. It's also the strat that Zos does. But what a lot of people will do is they'll just do like a short charge here, like a 2-tap, and then so they'll like release a charge shot, and they'll just jump through the room in this way. Okay. One, that we're taking damage when we do it that way, and two, it's slower. So what I do instead, I hold a charge as I'm falling here, and then I run to the right side of this statue, in this gap between the statue and the pillar in the background, okay? And then I immediately turn around, and I release my shot on these three blocks right here. So charge, left, release. That will hit the door every single time. Okay. And then we want to jump when we hit the next set of 3 blocks. That was too early. I released my charge shot 1 set of blocks too early. So if we jump as we reach the next set of 3, that puts us in a position where we can do this strat, which is super swaggy and really fast and really fun. Basically, you just want to hold down through the door. And then repress jump. And depending on where you jump through the door, this will change slightly. See, so like if we held jump here, we would keep going up. So that could be bad. So you want to release jump, hold down, repress jump, and then morph. And if you time it correctly, like even if you land, even if you land here on the platform, you're still going to be able to do like this cool like mock ball underneath through the gap. Basically, it's like Samus gets like pulled into the gap in this weird way, and I can't like do it on purpose, unfortunately, or I would. But yeah, if you do it right, you'll still go all the way down through. Like that, okay? All right, okay, but yeah, so you just want to morph at the right time as you're going down through this gap here, and then what you want to do is unmorph. Basically, like you have to kind of blindly eyeball it. But you want to unmorph as Samus will be touching the floor down there, and then you want to do a diagonal shot. I hold up and left on the D-pad here to do this. You want to shoot as you're passing this monster spawner. You can either do a spin jump up and a ledge grab, like that, or you can do a down grab, like you can aim down and shrink your hitbox and jump up that way, and you can save some frames doing that. Okay. And then we want to shoot as we're coming through this door. And that will hit that blue guy there. Okay. So we want to jump and do a bounce ball. Cutie mentioned the other day, and I also figured out when I was doing my splice, if you shoot when you jump and then you do a late bounce ball, you can also hit this other blue guy, and that actually reduces lag quite a bit in this room. It's like that. But it is a bit harder than just jumping across and not worrying about it. You want to do a bounce ball here and not a mock ball, because you want this bug to be facing left so that it will fly to the left and follow us. Okay, and if we do a mock ball here, what happens is the bug spawns facing right, because Samus is low enough when we reach its spawn trigger that it wants to come for Samus on the right instead of on the left. Basically, the bug spawns as we roll off this corner, okay? So we want to bounce here. We want to land on this pillar here. Now, I'm going to be going over the optimal farm strat here. It was really hard for me to learn and optimize this. Like, it took me probably a couple days to start getting it at all, and probably weeks worth of practice before I felt like I could do it consistently. The main thing to getting through this room is stopping on the least amount of platforms as possible. Okay, so you're probably going to want to farm here, and there's nothing wrong with that, especially when you're starting out. Hang on, if I can even freaking remember. There we go. This one? That one, cutie? This shot, yeah, dude. This I could not figure out why I was missing this shot for the longest freaking time. And I will try to explain that, but as I was saying, like, you're probably going to want to farm here, especially when you're first starting out, and there's nothing wrong with that. Just to get through this room fast, just try to land on the least number of platforms possible. Because if you like land here and then land here and then land here and here and here and here and here and here, every time you land, you're stopping Samus. You're stopping her forward advancement. So then you have to run forward and jump again and land again, right? The less jumps we can do through this room, the better. So that's the general idea to getting through this room fast. Now again, we do want to farm as much as we can here, especially if you're doing X Factor Ridley. We need these power bombs from these viola, that's the blue guys, to actually do the strat. Notice we have 1 power bomb right now, and we want up to 4. I know that Cutie sticks with a 3x factor strat, or he was. But yeah. And then the other part of farming here is bringing the bugs along for the ride, as it were. So notice we made that bug follow us all the way from right here. So if you watch, that bug is going to follow us the whole way. All right. Oh yeah, cool game. Give me the 2% power bomb drop right there. That's really nice of you. Okay, so we jump, bounce ball. You want to unmorph on the right side of this platform here, and I'll explain this, but let me just kind of go over it first. Basically, on all of these platforms, you want to be on the right side, okay? The reason for this is that viola don't start moving until you scroll them onto the screen, okay? So the viola on the left over there, he's not moving yet. But if we move over to the left, and then we jump across, he's in a different spot than if we start on the right side of the pillar. So let's say that, I mean, I'll try and do it. Try and break my muscle memory here. Oops. Yeah, so basically, if we advance further to the left earlier, we have to shoot our shot earlier, or we're less likely to hit that viola with it, okay? And also, timing the shot is important because it breaks us out of spin. And so if we time the shot too late, what's going to happen is we're going to try and damage boost off this guy, because we damage boost off that viola right there to get across. And we're going to end up KOing instead, or just missing the boost, okay? Okay, so to break it down, we want to do a bounce ball, unmorph. We want to shoot straight ahead as we unmorph. That will get that viola, which leaves a power bomb on top of that pillar for us to collect. Okay, and then you want to do an angle down shot to get this left bug that's coming up. From there, we want to jump down and collect the drop from the left bug, and do a wall jump off this pillar to get up on top of it. And again, you want to be on the right side of the pillar. All right. And then immediately jump again forward. Do an angle down wave shot as you are passing the viola that we're going to boost off of. After you do the angle down shot, you want to immediately turn and hold jump. You'll land on this viola and do a damage boost backwards. And you want it to be a late damage boost so that Samus has a chance to boost upward first, which allows us to clear not just the gaps, but clear all the way across to this platform right here. Wait a minute. That's not right. That's right. We want to stop. Sorry. If you do your damage boost too low, you're not going to end up landing in the right spot, is the point. And if you do it too far, you're not going to collect that last power bomb, which is the entire reason that we're doing this stupid shot right here. Okay. So you want to stop your damage boost as you're over this pillar. You want to collect that power bomb. And then you want to run forward. You don't want to jump here. You want to run forward and do an aim down to do a gap skip right there. Wow, I can't freaking hit it anymore. Good job, Zeni. Okay. And as you're doing that, you want to select supers. I realize this is a ton of information all for a single room, and I really apologize for that. Select supers, do the aim down. Angle up, run forward. You don't have to aim down this time. Don't fall in the acid, that's bad. Shoot the eye door as you land while you're angling up. Item select one more time to choose power bombs. Turn, shoot the bug, shoot the next bug, jump through the door. Okay, so we'll do this a few more times. Bounce. I'll like try and make it as basic as possible. Bounce, shoot, shoot, wall jump, angle down shot, deboost. Shoot, shoot, angle down shot. Also, the higher you are, the more likely you are to hit that viola when you do this angle down shot, for the record. And there's that Kago that I was talking about. Oh my gosh, no. There we go. Supers, angle up, or sorry, supers, gap skip, angle up. Shoot the door, power bomb, shoot, shoot, go through the door. You can also wait and collect the super from that viola if you missed it right here. Basically, when you shoot the super to the eye door, it'll knock the viola off the platform, and then it'll start crawling up this platform. So you can shoot it and collect the super that way. It's a little slower, but... You know, I hadn't done PRKD when I first started learning Mega Man X, so I wonder if I'd be better at Zam's Hallway now. Because, yeah, I hadn't done anything quite like this until this, so... So, yeah, that's this room. And next up, if we were to keep going, would be that Ridley explanation. So, I'm gonna leave it up to chat. Do you guys want me to do that now? It's pretty late already, to be honest. I know on the East Coast it's like 12:30. Or do we want to do... do we want to do something else? So the Ridley explanation, basically I'm just going to talk about the X Factor setups and then maybe do like a short brush up on like how to deal with Ridley swoops, especially because in my other, like in my RBO tutorial, for example, you have screw attack and you don't have that here. So it's just, it's a little bit different, but it's not really, there's not a whole lot to explain, since my other two Ridley videos cover most of it. But the 4X Factor setup is something that is exclusive to PRKD, as far as I know. So I do want to explain that at least. And I don't know exactly how long that will take. But if I don't do it now, I'll be doing that and the lower Norfair escape tomorrow. I could also do the lower Norfair escape now and then talk about Ridley tomorrow. And then do like Kraid and stuff. Yeah, we can do that. I mean, we've been doing movement already. Okay. Sure.